What is going on, everybody? You are back. This is Arrowhead Action. You are on the KC Sports Company YouTube page. My name is Justin. I'm your host of this wonderful Arrowhead Action show. And as you can see, we are jumping in the newest contest on Underdog Fantasy. It is the Chihuahua. It is a $4 entry, 25 max draft. And wouldn't you know it, I got the 1.1 on my first one. So this is the first one I did. This just came out today. So pretty excited. Looks like a pretty good contest. Um, good prize, good price point. Can't complain. With the 1.1, I think you just got to go Justin Jefferson to start. You could talk Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, whatever, but I think Jefferson's the easy choice at 1.1. So we'll go through this whole draft. I'll kind of talk through where my head is on all these picks or whatever, and should be a good time. I do want to give a shout out to Jody Fortson, who I don't know if you saw. You could check out his Twitter, his Instagram. He was posting videos and stuff, Facebook, all that good stuff. But this past weekend, he hosted a camp called Dream Forever. It was a free camp for youth. And my nephew, he actually did it back in Buffalo. So he's from the Buffalo area, actually. And I'm from the same area ish. So my nephew actually got to participate in the camp, and it was an awesome time. He's an awesome guy. He was out there running around with the kids, throwing the football to them, running routes, covering them. So it was really cool. He was signing autographs for everybody and anybody who asked. It was incredible. I got to talk to him for a little bit, him and his mother, just great people. It was a really cool thing to do. Really happy that my nephew was able to participate in it, and that I was able to go up and check it out. So really cool that he did it back in his hometown. Obviously, nice for me getting to be able to be there since I'm up in that area. But shout out to him for sure. Hoping big things for him, obviously, this year with the Chiefs. So take a look, bring up this draft board here, kind of see it as goes, which is so far you got Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Christian McCaffrey, then AJ Brown goes. So pretty interesting with Brown. Usually that's Diggs, Kelsey area. There goes Kelsey. So AJ Brown a little earlier than I would have thought. I like Diggs in that situation, and there he goes at the 8. But this is your pretty standard top 8 right here of players that have gone so far. I would say. Looks like we got some badges in here. So the badges, if you're new to Underdog, basically indicates it's somebody that's experienced, basically, I would say, in Underdog. They do a lot of drafts. So we got a few of them in our room. Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams come off the board. Got no complaints there. Both guys that should be up for some pretty good years. And then you see Bijan and then CD. Again, pretty standard for these guys to be going here. Nothing too out of the ordinary as of right now. Make sure you're following me on Twitter at JDiz1617. You can see it scrolling along the bottom of the screen there. Got a lot of stuff putting out there all the time. So if you tuned in last week, talked about the U.S. Open. Unfortunately, did not hit anything for the U.S. Open. Wyndham Clark ended up taking it down. Pretty exciting tournament, I would say, for the most part. I don't know. I didn't. The course was okay. Obviously, I just didn't think that it was your traditional setup for the U.S. Open. So you just didn't have that drama at the end potentially. couple shots off the tee that those guys had at the end, Wyndham Clark, Rory. I mean, any other place in a U.S. Open, you're not in the fairway, and they're not even be able to get out of the rough. So I don't know. It was okay. I think it was fine. It was good for Wyndham Clark. Played well. Has been striking the ball well. So I wouldn't have mind to see Rory. Then obviously the heartbreaker. I think everybody was kind of pulling for Ricky, but he fell apart on Sunday. So it is what it is. But Travelers is this week. I did make some bets for that. Hideki Matsuyama. I also bet Russell Henley. I also bet Justin Suh. I also bet Aaron Rye. And I also bet someone else that I cannot. Oh, Andrew Putnam. So Andrew Putnam, Aaron Rye, and Justin Suh were all pretty long shots. I think they're all over 100 something that I got them, 110 plus. And then Henley and Hideki were like 35 and 40 when I got them, which not the best numbers. I saw some floating out there a little bit better earlier, but all right. So here we go. So we have Justin Jefferson. I'm going to do something different here. I'm taking Patrick Mahomes and Tony Pollard. I don't like this group of receivers right here. DK, Calvin Ridley, Debo, Amari Cooper. I just don't like those receivers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put Kadarius Toney and I'm going to put Sky Moore in my queue, potentially to come back and get them later. And what I'll do too is maybe throw DeAndre Hopkins in there in the event if he's there when we come up and have to make that decision. He's still a free agent. I think every day that passes that he doesn't sign with New England and Tennessee, who he's already visited, is a chance somebody else can come and scoop him up. That's including including the Kansas City Chiefs, including the Buffalo Bills, who were rumored, including a team like the Lions or the Eagles, something like that. It's good that he hasn't signed anybody. It wouldn't have been the worst thing, I don't think, though, for the Chiefs if he would have signed with the Titans or the Patriots right now. So, but we'll see. And the thing is, we already know is the Chiefs have to pay Chris Jones. So maybe eventually, if they extend Chris Jones, that would open up enough of the cap space to be able to sign a guy like Hopkins and stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. That is obviously something that we're going to continue to watch as the offseason goes. And, it's only, as I record this, June 20th. So there's a lot of offseason still to go, a lot of stuff that can still happen. But, yeah, so golf, those were my bets. Again, that is not financial advice. If you're here for losing picks, I will give you them. That's for the Travelers this week. Should be a good tournament. There's a lot of good names in there. Pretty much all the guys that were at the U.S. Open, it seems like, are there. So should be another good golf tournament if you're into golfing, which I am, and we'll talk about that stuff like I mentioned before. So recapping, took Justin Jefferson with the 1.1, came back around, took Mahomes, and I took Tony Pollard for the first 3 rounds. That is my start. Checking out these other teams, see if there's anything that we see going on here. So out of the 11 hole, you can see Adams, Brown, Debo. So going pretty wide receiver heavy to start. 10 hole, you get the 2 receivers with the kind of the anchor RB in there. Same thing right here out of the 8 hole with Diggs and DK and the Chubb. So it looks like out of the 9 hole, Lindsey Moe she took Eckler in the 1, and then she has Waddle Lamar. So little week 17 correlation there with the Dolphins and the Ravens, with Waddle being with the Dolphins, obviously, Lamar with the Ravens. What else? So it looks like we got a Bengals stack getting set up here. Chase and Higgins come back with Najee as his running back. I'm not Najee's scary this year. I don't know. I'm not. I got a little bit of exposure to him, but man, he did not look great at the end of last year. I think that Steelers offense could be pretty decent, but he did not look great. And Jalen Warren, I think, is actually decent talent and somebody that I would rather take in the later rounds than taking Najee early at this point. What else do we have? Anything else interesting? 3 and 5, taking a couple running backs with only one receiver so far. 12 spot going Anchor RB, Bijan Robinson, and CD Lamb, Keenan Allen, Christian Kirk. So pretty standard. We got a little stack here. It's a nice little team set up by Matt Murphy, LOL. Takes Cooper Kupp with the 4. Cooper Kupp could be in line. I mean, if Stafford's healthy, especially, even if he's not, but if Stafford is healthy, especially, he is somebody that could just get peppered with targets, like he always is, obviously. But then he's got the Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts stack with the Cooper Kupp. So I like that. That's a nice start for him. Then he takes Hopkins. Hopkins with a little past ADP. I think his ADP was 40. Goes at the 45 spot. So I'm coming up here in a couple picks. Drake London, Mike Williams, Terry McLaurin, Brandon Ayuk, Chris Godwin, Michael Pittman, Marquise Brown. So McLaurin goes. Be definitely nice to be able to get some receivers. So I'm definitely taking Drake London. And then I'm going to go with Brandon Ayuk. Yeah, the receivers are pretty thin there, but I think that's two good values with Drake London and Ayuk. London a little past ADP, Ayuk a little bit before, but as you can see at the board, not too many receivers on the board at this point. So Jefferson, I took with the 1.1. Well, Mahomes and Tony Pollard after that, and then just came back with London and Ayuk. So I like that start. See if we can't get Tony and Sky Moore later to stack Mahomes up with. You know, you always have the option of Pacheco, McKinnon, MVS, all these guys. I'm going to throw MVS in the queue just in case. Could go, full onslaught, get all of them. It's always an option. And then, guys like Justin Ross, even Richie James, take them in the later rounds. I don't think is a terrible idea either. So, going to get that Chief stack it up here on Arrowhead Action on the KC Sports Company YouTube page. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. A lot of fun stuff we're going to be going on. If you're new to the show, we'll talk Chiefs, we'll talk NFL, we'll talk betting, we'll talk fantasy sports, all that good stuff. Right now I'm doing the Chihuahua, the new contest on Underdog. It's a $4 entry, 25 max. Just came out today, this afternoon. So as we record on Tuesday, the 20th. So figured I'd jump in and check this out, see how it's going. It seems pretty standard. It seems like the puppy drafts. I did one of those. If you want to check that out earlier, you could go check that out. Did that on one of the few previous episodes, but should be in good shape here. See some running backs coming off the board here, 3 in a row. Kenneth Walker, Joe Mixon, Aaron Jones. Got King Co getting the Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen stack. And Deontay Johnson. So he's going true anchor RB with Bijan Robinson. Bijan's interesting. He's really, obviously the talent was there, really highly touted coming out of Texas, and he's set up for, man. If he gets the workload, he could be somebody that is in contention for top 2, 3 fantasy points for running backs in the entire league. You know, the Arthur Smith offense that we saw him run in Tennessee that fed Derrick Henry constantly. I think the Falcons' line will be pretty decent. So really, it is, it's Desmond Ritter, the quarterback that can be capable of running a decent offense where teams are going to respect it enough that they're not just going to load the box and dare Ritter to beat them. But I mean, there's a few decent skill guys there. Drake London, who I drafted, like him a lot. Kyle Pitts, obviously, who hasn't really delivered yet, but I don't know if they really know how to use him right now in Atlanta in their run heavy offense. And then Bijan, and so that's a good young solid 3 right there. So Road Ra 87 is avoiding receivers at all costs. It seems at this point with Barkley, then Josh Allen, then J.K. Dobbins, and then Miles Sanders, then Cam Akers. I don't know if I agree with this technique, to say the least. But we're up in a couple picks. Got Tony still on the board here. If as of right now, 3 picks away. Mike Evans just comes off the board. Also got guys like Traylon Burks, George Pickens, Jahan Dotson, Gabe Davis. As far as receivers are concerned, Dameon Pierce, who's fallen a little past ADP at this point. Dameon Pierce, DeAndre Swift, Delvin Cook at running back. Pacheco's down there. If Tony is there, I'm definitely going to go Tony. And he is. And then let's see. Cowboys play the Lions week 17, Minnesota, Green Bay, Atlanta. Well, I believe Washington plays the 49ers. Got a little week 17 correlation there with Jahan Dotson. Double check on that, but I'm almost positive. I'm just going to look up the schedule here. Real quick, but even regardless, that's just a little bonus for that because I think Dotson could be a real player for Washington. And they do play week 17. Yeah, I was correct on that. So I like Dotson to come out and have a really good sophomore year. He was somebody I was pretty low on actually coming out of the draft, but somebody that is proven that he is a very solid player so far. Quarterback situation obviously is interesting there. Sam Howell and Jacoby Brissett are the 2 QBs in that situation. So it'll be interesting to see how that all shapes out. But Eric Bieniemy taking over the reins for the offense in Washington, leaving Kansas City, wishing nothing but the best for him. And hopefully now he'll be dialing up some plays for our boy Jahan. So Rodra 87, Rodra, I don't know how to say their name, takes their first wide receiver, and it's George Pickens from the Steelers. Very interesting. So Sky Moore is ADP's 119. When we come back around, we'll be at pick 96, 97, and then round 10. That's right around where we pick. So hopefully he's still there. And he's somebody that's gotten a ton of offseason buzz so far out of the many mandatory camps that they've had. And you listen to Coach Reed, you listen to Patrick Mahomes talk about it, and they've all kind of hyped him up. And he's definitely somebody that's gotten a lot of buzz. Talked about feeling more comfortable in the offense and understanding what Mahomes wants. All things that are super important, especially in this Andy Reid style offense where you're really it usually takes a little bit of time for the rookies. You really need to hone in exactly what you're looking at, and a lot of route adjustments and sight adjustments, and adjusting to coverages, and just that continuity with Mahomes. And it sounds like that's happening. I tweeted this out a while ago, but man, you listen to every interview, and the word that keeps sticking out is just trust. And Mahomes is trusting where Sky's going to be. So I'm pretty excited for him. I think people kind of have given up on him too soon, or too low on him. So I think he's in line. He could really have a good year. So, and honestly, the Chiefs need him too. They need Tony, and they need Sky Moore to step up big time. They need take a little pressure off of Travis. Obviously, he's getting up there in age, but obviously, if he could step up and take off they can step up and take some of the pressure off of him. It'll extend his career a little bit. So check out the board. Let's see what we're doing here. So the 8th round, we've got David Montgomery, Zay Flowers, Deshaun Watson, Dalvin Cook, and Evan Ingram coming off the board so far. Dalvin Cook, obviously still a free agent. Don't know where he's going to end up landing. Obviously, the rumors are all out there, and talks about him and DeAndre Hopkins landing on the same team at some point, potentially. So that would be interesting. There's always the Bills rumors out there, him playing with his brother. James Cook over in Buffalo, both running backs. That would be pretty interesting. The Dolphins were thrown out there, which that seems odd. But at this point, I don't know. I'm kind of a stay away for Cook at the moment, because he would have to be land in a pretty decent situation. So Pacheco, Connor just comes off the board. We're up at 2 picks. Let's see what we got on the board here. So how many receivers? We got 5 receivers right now. Tony Pollard's our only running back. Javonte Williams, James Cook, Elvin Kamara, Zach Charbonnet, David Njoku. I'm actually going to go with A.J. Dillon and David Njoku. So we get our first tight end in Njoku, and then we take A.J. Dillon. A little bit of correlation there for week 17 with the Packers and Minnesota. I thought about Kamara, thought about Charbonnet. Not huge on any of those backs. I think they're all pretty similar. The one interesting one being really Kamara, because we still don't know what his deal is, if he's going to be suspended, how long he's going to be suspended. And with them all being kind of the same, to me, I took the tiebreaker being the week 17 correlation with Justin Jefferson. So I think that, obviously Seattle, they like Charbonnet, that's why they drafted him, but they also have Kenneth Walker there. Buffalo brought in Damian Harris from New England. He was a free agent. Cook seems to be the lead guy, but is it going to be Damian Harris getting every touchdown? Is it going to be Josh Allen, who rushes a ton of touchdowns in and gets a ton of goal line work? So with them guys all kind of being even, like I said, the tiebreaker was the week 17 correlation with Justin Jefferson. Which those are the little things you think about when you're drafting teams. If you got a bunch of even people, simple way to make your tiebreaker is stuff like that. The week 17 correlations. So what we're going to do now, we're up in 17 picks. We're going to take a quick break. And then once we come back, we will be continuing the draft. This is Arrowhead Action. My name is Justin. You're on the KC Sports Company. And we'll be...
What up, KC? On the heels of yet another Kansas City Super Bowl victory, we have an awesome opportunity for you to broadcast your business to the local Kansas City market. We've created something called Kansas City Sports Company, which is a sports media hub for multiple live shows, all of which cover all the local Kansas City teams. Now, we have 30-second ad spots, 60-second ad spots, we have event sponsorships, studio sponsorships, show sponsorships, and much, much more. This is a great opportunity for you to start early with us and broadcast your business to a very dedicated, very enthusiastic Kansas City audience. Contact me or hit the Contact Us link on our website to learn more about this opportunity.
What's up, everybody? We're back. Again, my name is Justin. This is Arrowhead Action. You're on the Kansas City, the KC Sports Company YouTube page. Make sure you like and make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're following me on Twitter at jdiz1617. You're here with me. We're doing a Chihuahua, which is the new contest in the Underdog Fantasy website. The $4 entry, 25 max. So far, we have on the team Patrick Mahomes is our quarterback, Tony Pollard, A.J. Dillon at running back, Justin Jefferson, Drake London, Brandon Ayuk, Kadarius Toney, Jahan Dotson, and David Njoku as our tight end. To round off the team, we are up in 6 picks. We had the 1.1, and so far, so good. I'm hoping that we get Sky Moore here. Obviously, like I said, we're up in 6 picks. And he is still on the board as of right now. Definitely have some people that could be coming up that need some wide receivers. Cruiser here, Fern 7 Meza, Kenny DR, Kennard, Ninerd. I have no idea what this person's name is. Nine Doctor. So Alan Lazard just comes off the board. Matt Murphy LOL goes Elijah Mitchell. That's good. That's good. Up in 2 picks. Still hoping we get the old Sky Moore to fall to us. Other people on the board right now: Tyler Boyd, Odell Beckham, Zay Jones, Aaron Rodgers, Jacoby Myers, Khalil Herbert, McKinnon, Dalton Kincaid, Jared Goff. Throw Tyler Boyd in the queue. Chiefs play the Bengals week 17, New Year's. We have both of them on the board, and we are going to double tap it. So we just took our wide receivers 6 and 7 in Sky Moore and Tyler Boyd. So now we have the Patrick Mahomes, Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore double stack with the Tyler Boyd bring back. I like that quite a bit. And we're up in 20 picks. So we'll bring up the board and see what we got going on. So things you got to start considering: who our second quarterback is going to be. You know, right now we do have a little correlation here with Dotson and Ayuk. So a guy like Brock Purdy, throw him in the queue. They have a week 9 bye week, so that's nice. Different from the Chiefs, different from Mahomes. You could get the Ayuk stack there with the bring back of Jahan Dotson. Definitely don't mind that. Let's see what other quarterbacks are on the board. Wilson, you can always try to get a late stack here out of that. We already have 7 receivers, though, so that makes it a little bit more tough. I think the Purdy route is the best route to go for us right now. So I think that's what we'll try to do. We'll try to get Purdy stacked up with Ayuk, the Dotson bring back, and then he'll be a teamed up with Mahomes at quarterback, and if we get those two, that'd be it. Honestly, with a Mahomes stack, you don't really want more than 2 quarterbacks anyways. Other things to consider right now: do we want a third tight end with Njoku? See what tight ends are on the board. Definitely getting a little thin. I have to see who comes back to us when it comes back around. Definitely going to be probably looking at running back and tight end when it does come back around in 10 picks. So round 12 just started. Michael Gallup comes off the board. So Radra 87, only 3 receivers so far through 11 rounds. That's interesting strategy. I tend to be much more wide receiver heavy. That is for sure. Maybe he's doing a bet. Who knows? So 3 straight receivers to start round 12, including Rondell Moore, Romeo Doubs. Chig Okonkwo goes. I was kind of hoping Chig ended up falling in, but did not think he was going to. I think Chig has a potential to lead the Titans in targets. Obviously, Treylon Burks is there, and it was starting to come on a little bit later, but Chig has got a good athletic profile, showed that he could play last year. There's not much competition at wide receiver otherwise for the Titans. So up in 4 picks, Kendre Miller, Jalen Warren are the 2 running backs. They're still on the board currently right now. Tyler Higbee is the tight end, along with Roshan Johnson, Irv Smith, Tyler Algier, Devin Singletary. Interesting. There goes Jalen Warren off the board. I'm going to throw Tyler Higbee, Kendre Miller. Yeah, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to go Kendre. We're going to go Higbee. Kendre is our 3rd running back. Higbee's our 2nd tight end. Miller's interesting because, again, we don't know with Kamara what his deal is, right? Like, if he's suspended for an extended period of time, well, Kendre Miller becomes a great option. Obviously, they signed Jamal Williams as well, which is always tough because he could end up poaching touchdowns. But he's in a good spot and potential to get a ton of work, especially if Kamara is out for an extended period of time. We still have MVS on the queue. Unlikely we get him now, which is fine. It would have been our third receiver stacked with Mahomes. Not something that we necessarily needed at this point. So we're in round 13, 18 rounds in this, obviously, so 5 more picks. Still got to get our 2nd quarterback. Right now we're thinking about a Brock Purdy stack with Ayuk and the Dotson bring back. You can see Matt Murphy here. Wide receivers early. Now he's hammering the running back with 4 in a row. Pretty interesting. See what our guy Radra does here. Goes quarterback. What with Van Jefferson, Matt Stafford stacking, and Cam Akers. So Rams. I think the Rams play the Giants. And he's got the Barkley. So interesting little bring back there. But man, their wide receivers are weak. So we're up to 14 picks. We're doing the Chihuahua draft, the new contest that came out on Underdog today. So far, the team, for a recap: Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, Tony Pollard, A.J. Dillon, Kendre Miller at running back. At wide receiver, started the draft off with Justin Jefferson, Drake London, Brandon Ayuk, Kadarius Toney, Jahan Dotson, Sky Moore, Tyler Boyd. Tight end, David Njoku, Tyler Higbee. We're in round 13. We got 5 picks left. We still got to get a quarterback. So with the last 4 picks, other than the quarterback, could go 3 tight end build. Definitely going to be a 5 or 6 running back build. So, maybe it's something if we do want another wide receiver in Kansas City, so a third one, maybe we do grab a Richie James or Justin Ross in the last round. That could be a fun little thing. Get 8 receivers. We'll throw them in the queue right now as an option. So up in 9 picks. So we're looking at potentially like a Deontay Foreman for Chicago, Tajay Spears for Tennessee, Chuba Hubbard, Kenneth Gainwell, Jeff Wilson, Chase Brown, Gus Edwards. I do like Gus Edwards pretty late. That would be pretty early for his ADP, though. So we have 168, 169, and then 192. Purdy's 185. Do I want to reach that early and take him to ensure that we get our second quarterback? What does the quarterback situation look like? It looks ugly. So we might have to take that's gross. Might have to take Purdy way ahead of ADP here to get this second stack. Most people have 2 quarterbacks. Matt Murphy, M. Jerky. I only have 1 each. And it is. I mean, the other thing we could do is wait and then just take Howell otherwise. And then you're just stacking up the other side of it, getting Howell and Dotson. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. We'll take Deontay, put him in the queue. And Chuba. Chuba way ahead of ADP, but we need backs. And I don't want Ezekiel Elliott. All right. That was kind of gross having to take them that early, but it's okay. So we just took Deontay Foreman and Chuba Hubbard, running backs 4 and 5. We got 3 rounds left, as you can see. And then our decision will come back to, I guess, whoever's left between Brock Purdy, Sam Howell as our backup, as our second QB to Mahomes. Because we do have that stack, like we've been mentioning it, with Ayuk and Dotson. Matt Murphy is one of the other teams that needs their second quarterback. They are on the clock right now. Who is their other quarterback? Okay, so they have the Hurts, Devonta, Goddard. So that makes sense why they're waiting, obviously. And there you go. There's their Kenny Pickett. They end up taking. And that's probably an unstacked Kenny Pickett, because I think Pickens went to somebody else. And they got, Jalen Warren. So stacked it with a running back. I guess it's better than no stack. Then who does M. Jerky have as his quarterback? So he's got Trevor Lawrence, or they have Trevor Lawrence. They have Travis Etienne. They got Evan Ingram. So they have Nico Collins, maybe a CJ Stroud they'd be interested in if they want to stack. And they are on the clock now. And they go Kyler. Kyler's interesting. He's somebody that if, who knows when he gets back, but potential to end up being, huge as far as points is concerned, as far as going far exceeding his ADP because he's going so late. the Cardinals also could be terrible. So that is the other point. So interesting. Kyler's interesting. I have a little bit of interest in him when he falls to this late. So Dawson Knox comes off the board. He's somebody who I think is pretty undervalued. Everybody loves Dalton Kincaid. Obviously, it's who the Bills drafted, but it's also he's a rookie tight end. So rookie tight ends in the NFL usually take a little bit of time to get figure themselves out, really figure the league out. So Knox is not somebody who's just going to never play again because they drafted Kincaid. They're also very different. Kincaid is not going to line up in line and block and be on the field for those things, whereas Knox, he'll be on the field for those sets. So how much are they going to use 12 personnel? They ran it fewest in the league last year, just about. So I think I think Knox is falling, and that's a nice pick this late. Start of the 16th, there goes Zeke and Isaiah Hodgins. So Hodgins getting a little buzz out of camp, but not as much as his teammate Paris Campbell, who is getting all the buzz out of Giants camp coming out of the slot and playing some running back and doing all this as Sterling Shepard and Wan'Dale Robinson recover from ACL surgeries. And there goes Wan'Dale right there. So we're up in 6 picks. You can see we have a couple quarterbacks on the board. Justin Ross, Richie James on the queue. Those are guys might take them late. Take him in the last round as the third receiver to stack with Mahomes. Hoping Purdy falls a couple more picks so we can get him stacked up with Brandon Ayuk with the Dotson bring back. All the people in front of us all have two quarterbacks, so hopefully they don't take their third at this point. Right, we only have 3 picks left in the draft. 1, 2, 3, 16, 17, 18. Right now, our team is a 1-5-7-2. Obviously, we're going to get one more quarterback, and then it's kind of where do we want the receiver running backs to fall. With the running backs we have, I might take one more, do a traditional 2-6-8-2. Just go with the 2 tight ends and Njoku and Higbee. I think both of those guys are solid. They're not great, but they're solid. And we end up getting Purdy. We're hoping that. And then I'm going to take Gus Edwards here as our 6th running back. I like Gus quite a bit. He's healthy for minicamp. It's only him and Dobbins in the backfield. He's going to get touches. If Dobbins isn't all the way recovered from his injury, he could end up getting an even larger workload. So I like that at this point in the draft quite a bit. So we can take Sam Howell out because we're not taking the third quarterback. We have Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy at quarterback. Our running backs are Tony Pollard, A.J. Dillon, Kendre Miller, Deontay Foreman, Chuba Hubbard, and Gus Edwards. We're going to be done at running back with those 6. Wide receiver-wise, we have Justin Jefferson, Drake London, Brandon Ayuk, Kadarius Toney, Jahan Dotson, Sky Moore, and Tyler Boyd. So obviously we have the stack with Mahomes and Moore and Toney. In the bring back with Boyd, our tight ends are David Njoku and Tyler Higbee. And then in the last round, we are going to take either Justin Ross or Richie James, do a fun little triple stack with Mahomes, kind of go full onslaught with this Chiefs offense here on Arrowhead Action on the KC Sports Company YouTube page. Make sure you like and make sure you're subscribing. In the comments, tell me, what did you think about this team? Where are you going to rate this team out of 10? Is it crap? Is it decent? I feel okay with it. I think that I didn't like the Chuba Hubbard pick. I thought that was a little bit reachy, but at the situation we were in, we needed running backs, and I didn't want to take another receiver there. So it was okay. Had to do it. But I want to know what you think. Obviously, I think it's okay because I did it. Not my favorite team in the world. I'm not going to tell you that. But I also don't think it's the worst one. So, but appreciate everybody being here. Make sure you're following me on Twitter at jdiz1617. So, show comes out every Wednesday. You'll find it on Twitter, on the KC Sports Company Twitter, and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all that good stuff. So make sure you're doing that stuff, checking us out. Make sure you're following everything. Like and subscribe to the channel. We have a ton of shows, all sorts of content, everything surrounded about the Kansas City sports teams. So Kansas teams, all that good stuff. You're going to want to make sure you don't miss any of it. So best way to do that is by subscribing to the channel. Drafting the Chihuahua. We're in the 18th round. Going to make our last pick. 12 picks away. Let's check out the board, see what everybody's got going on. So we just completed round 17. Hayden Hurst goes. Been a pretty standard draft, I would say. No too big surprises. Jake Ferguson, one of the Dallas tight ends, comes off the board. I guess the debate always there in Dallas, right? Which tight end do you want when you're drafting? Jake Ferguson or a Luke Schoonmaker? Obviously, Schoonmaker's a rookie. Ferguson is the guy coming back. Ferguson probably not as good as a profile as Schoonmaker, but I think I do favor Ferguson a tad. So Save the Saint poaches us with Justin Ross. That's annoying. He does a little Chase Brown, Justin Ross mini week 17 correlation here in week 17, 18. Let's take a look at the rest of their team. Gesicki, Love, DPJ, Algier Daz. He also has Joe Mixon, so 2 Cincy running backs, so that's interesting. Pierre Strong comes off the board. That's a fun little pick. I've done that a little bit. The Patriots released James Robinson, and it's that backfield is pretty much Ramondre, Pierre Strong are the first 2 guys, so that's a nice little pick there. Get a little correlation with the Khalil Shakur week 17 stuff. Zach Ertz. I haven't seen Zach Ertz drafted in too many of the drafts that I've been in. So we're up in 3 picks. We'll take Richie James if we don't get sniped on that one as well. And if we do, we will have to back up and punt. There are some options here, though, that I do like. I don't mind Sleen. I don't mind Tim Patrick. I don't mind Tank Dell. I love Tank Dell coming out of college. Terrace Marshall's an interesting week 18 or round 18 pick. So I'd take any of those guys. Would prefer to be able to get Richie James, do the old triple stack. I don't think I have any teams that are triple stacked, and this is the first Chihuahua that I've drafted, so that'd be a fun way to kick this contest off with on the KC Sports Company, and we did get it. So again, I am Justin. This is Arrowhead Action on the KC Sports Company YouTube page. I don't know why that's showing there. Okay. It's still saying I'm on the clock, but then it says completed. So who knows what's going on there. But I appreciate everybody being here. This was a Chihuahua draft on Underdog Fantasy. It's a lot of fun if you're not doing any best ball. I enjoy them quite a bit. But this is what you're going to get on our page. We'll talk Chiefs. We'll talk NFL. We'll talk betting, fantasy. I gave up my golf picks earlier in the show, so make sure you're checking that out. Especially if you like losing, definitely follow them. No, this is not financial advice. Make your own picks, and hopefully you don't lose. I'm just not hitting anything lately, especially when it comes to PGA. But again, follow me on Twitter at jdiz1617. Like and subscribe to the show. Appreciate everybody being here. See you next time.